Have you ever held a doll that seemed to watch your every move? A simple toy that hides a darkness you can't explain? What if that doll wasn't just old or creepy, but truly possessed by something evil? Tonight, dive into the chilling true story of Annabelle, the haunted doll whose terror is very real, not just Hollywood fiction. So, in the early 1970s, a young nurse named Donna received a gift for her 28th birthday, a Raggedy Ann doll. It looked innocent enough, with its stitched smile and simple red hair, sitting softly in a small box wrapped in tissue paper. But from the moment Donna brought that doll into her life, strange things started to happen. She lived with her roommate Angie in a cramped apartment in Connecticut, and at first, the doll was just a quirky decoration, something to add a vintage charm to their living room. Soon, though, they noticed the doll was never where they initially placed it. One morning, Donna would find the doll sitting on the sofa, a faint smile frozen on its stitched face. The next day, it might be lying face down in the bedroom where it didn't belong. At first, they dismissed it as accidental, or maybe a prank by a mischievous roommate or visitor. But then unsettling things intensified. Mysterious notes began appearing, scratched onto parchment paper with shaky hands, bearing messages like, "Help me" and "Help Lou," written hurriedly. There was no parchment paper in the house, and they hadn't left any notes around. As days passed, the incidents grew darker. Donna's fiancé, Lou, once fell asleep on the couch, only to wake up gasping for air and clutching deep scratches on his chest. Scratches that seemed to come out of nowhere. Their belongings were moved, objects flew off shelves without reason, and once, a glass window shattered inexplicably during a quiet night. Fear settled in. They knew something was terribly wrong. Desperate for answers, Donna and Angie sought out a medium. What they learned was chilling. An afterlife spirit had attached itself to the doll, a young girl named Annabelle Higgins, who had tragically died at the very land their apartment was built on. But the medium warned they weren't dealing with a lost spirit looking for peace, but something much darker, a demon manipulating the doll to feed on their fear and sorrow. Reluctantly, Donna and Angie allowed the spirit to inhabit the doll, hoping to appease it. But things got worse. The doll moved with purpose. It appeared in different rooms, its eyes seeming to follow them with malicious intent. It inflicted physical injuries. Doors slammed shut on their own, and a terrible sense of malevolence filled the air. When the Warrens, famed paranormal investigators, were called in, they confirmed the worst. This wasn't just a haunted doll, but a vessel controlled by an evil force that sought to possess and destroy. The Warrens took extraordinary steps, placing Annabelle inside a sealed glass case, an object to be feared and left undisturbed, for it was said to be capable of killing. Today, that haunted Raggedy Ann doll remains locked away in their museum, a silent warning of the darkness that once lurked within. Even now, some say that on quiet nights, you can hear the faint rustling of fabric or see a flicker of movement inside her glass case, reminding the brave that some spirits refuse to rest and some dolls are cursed forever. That's when fear truly took hold. Lou, Donna's fiancé and close friend to Angie, had his own terrifying encounter that turned their nightmare into something impossible to ignore. One afternoon, Lou took a nap on the couch while the Annabelle doll sat on the opposite end, seemingly harmless. But then he woke up in a panic, overcome by a suffocating pressure around his throat, as if invisible hands were strangling him. His heart was pounding, sweat pouring down his face. When he looked down, Lou saw deep, fresh scratch marks on his chest. The wounds looked like long, sharp claw marks, 7 distinct rips etched into the skin as if something had fiercely attacked him while he slept. Lou's injuries appeared fully formed and blistering, but mysteriously began to heal within just a few days, leaving no visible scars behind. It was clear, this was no random accident or prank. The spirit tethered to the doll was violently making its presence known. Terrified and desperate for answers, Donna and Angie contacted a medium, hoping to understand the darkness creeping into their lives. The answers chilled them to the bone. The medium revealed that the spirit inhabiting the doll was not the innocent child they had hoped for. It was the spirit of Annabelle Higgins, a young girl who had tragically died on the land long before the apartment was built. Annabelle's spirit, the medium explained, had been drawn to the doll like a magnet, seeking love, attention, and a place to stay. Reluctantly, haunted and questioning their reality, Donna and Angie allowed the spirit to inhabit the doll, hoping to appease the restless child. But that fragile peace was soon shattered as the true malignancy of the presence revealed itself. What they had been dealing with was no innocent spirit, but a malevolent force hiding behind the face of a child. But the fragile peace didn't last long. The Annabelle doll's movements grew more violent and sinister with each passing day. No longer did it simply change positions mysteriously, it began throwing objects across the room with alarming force. Glass shattered, lamps toppled, and items flew through the air as if propelled by an unseen hand. Doors slammed shut on their own with deafening noise, sometimes trapping Donna, Angie, or Lou inside rooms. The feeling of being watched intensified. Unseen eyes seemed to track their every move, cold and unforgiving. Fearing for their safety, Donna and Angie reached out to Ed and Lorraine Warren, the famous paranormal investigators with a reputation for confronting the darkest forces. The Warrens' investigation was grim. They determined the doll was not possessed by a harmless spirit of a child, as initially suspected, but controlled by a malevolent demon, a cunning, evil being seeking a human host to possess. The presence of the doll was dangerous and deadly. One priest who openly dismissed the curse on Annabelle met a mysterious fate when he lost control of his car and crashed on the drive home, an accident that seemed more than coincidence. Taking no risks, the Warrens secured Annabelle in a locked glass case at their occult museum in Monroe, Connecticut. The case bore a clear warning: do not touch. Today, Annabelle remains sealed away, but the darkness she carries still looms. Visitors report feeling a chilling aura and an oppressive energy in the room, the silent threat of a curse never truly lifted. Today, the real Annabelle sits beneath that glass in Monroe, Connecticut, a simple Raggedy Ann doll with stitched eyes, waiting silently, but some still say at night you can hear her move. The story of Annabelle isn't just chilling, it's a warning that some toys hide ancient evil, and some terrors never leave. Could you live with a doll watching you? Could you survive its cursed stare? If this true tale unsettled you, subscribe for more real horror stories every week. Each story is a doorway into the unknown, so stay curious, stay cautious, and remember, sometimes the scariest things are the ones waiting quietly in your own home.